You know, I hate the woke nonsense as much as the next, but technically speaking, Peach has always been with the shits. What to do, ladies and dudes? It's the Vulgar One, the Vulgar Son, the Vulgar Desperado, representing the Jabberjaws back in the booth for some things for you and your crew to talk about in your living room. And today, I'm going to talk about Peach and the quite honestly, the apparent wokeness that her character might exhibit in this new Mario film. However, when you technically look at it, when you take a step back and you actually think about who Peach is as a character, and in particular in this video, what I'm going to do when I show you some examples of Peach from a comic book of all things, you realize that maybe the woke whistle does not need to be blown here. But first, you know what to do. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. On our way to 1,000. We'd really appreciate any little contribution you make. Thank you very much. Now, this article comes from Bounding Into Comics, titled "The Super Mario Bros. Movie Director Teases Girl Boss Personality for Princess Peach. We were thinking how strong the person would need to be to protect her people." Now, from Bounding Into Comics, they usually tackle a lot of the woke shit, and generally speaking, I kind of agree with them in a lot of cases. But I do think this is one of those examples, which I'm also guilty of myself when it comes to a lot of this woke crap, of being something that maybe, let's say, it's not a big deal, or even let's say it's something that it's not, right? Because admittedly, while the word girl boss is very loaded and comes with honestly a negative connotation, it's because we know what it kind of means. It's not an accurate way to describe Peach if you look at it in a more positive manner, or try to use it as the maybe woke, more feminist types like to use it in that positive kind of demeanor. But obviously, spoken here in this article, and I'll show you in the comments that follow, it's not viewed in a good way. But the unfortunate thing that the author of this article and the people in the comments kind of miss is that's kind of who Peach is. Maybe not in the terrible way that we kind of show, but she's technically a girl boss or strong or whatever you want to fucking call it. But let's read this article and then I'll kind of get in on more of what I mean and show you an example. So the article continues, in what appears to be a hint that the film will indeed bring the iconic heroes to life with all the personalities of a feminist meme page. The pair of directors behind the Super Mario Bros. Movies have confirmed that their version of Princess Peach will have a stronger character than any of her past incarnations. That's technically a lie, but let's continue. Perhaps best known to audiences as the creators of Cartoon Network's Teen Titans Go, the Mushroom Kingdom directors duo of Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic spoke to their approach to the characterization of the franchise's beloved cast of characters during a recent interview given to Total Film via comicbook.com for the April issue of the magazine. Beginning with the main mustached men themselves, the two creators explained to the outlet, "It's Mario's goal to save his brother from Bowser's clutches. He has to go on this epic adventure to do that. So Luigi," they continued, whose famously nervous, anxious character finds himself in the worst possible predicament, having to survive the interrogations with Bowser and make it through the gauntlet. Turning to their take on the world-famous member of the Mushroom Kingdom's royal family, Horvath and Jelenic asserted that the film's version of Peach would be less a damsel in distress and more of an assertive, take-no-gruff authority figure. "She's the monarch who leads the kingdom of hapless, adorable toads," said the directors. "We were thinking how strong that person would need to be to protect those people, all that informed the ideas of Peach's character in our movie." Prior to Horvath and Jelnic's seeming confirmation of the fact Princess Peach's on-screen role as a stereotypical girl boss has already been hinted at in the film's preview materials, most notably in the first full trailer. There within, the princess not only shown leading Mario and Toad in their expedition to find Luigi and expressing frustration towards Mario's platforming incompetence, but also, and in particular, on the nose moment, dramatically flipping a halberd weapon into her hands while calling on her subjects to prepare for war. Alright, so where to begin with this? Admittedly, I think I would like to begin with wishing I had the Gentleman Bastard on this one, because he plays all the games. He's quite the Nintendo fanboy, so he knows what's good with the games. I'm going to stick to what I know and use this comic book that I'm talking. But I would be remiss to not admit that I understand this article's point of view, and subsequently these comments' point of views, like this one down here talking about Mario Sue and the sequel Super Mario Sue, and just kind of bringing up the fact that if she's so talented, that why does she need Mario to save everyone? Just kind of things like that. Like I can't be foolish enough to sit there and say I don't understand where people are coming from. Star Wars and other shows like She-Hulk and shit have brought a lot of ill will and arguably blindness to people, because now we're at a point where even when characters are more, and I hate to use the word girl boss or even the whole strong and independent, whatever, because these are just kind of developed and good natured characters. It didn't have all this negative connotation to it, but for quickness of video, let's just call her girl boss, I guess, it wasn't a bad thing, right? Like many people now, I mean, let's look at some of these comments. Like this first one here, it says, once again, they alter the original lore to their liking, thinking the brand is too strong to sell on its own. I have a bad feeling. Or how about this one? Yeah, that was painfully obvious from the trailer. It's part of the reason I'm not wasting my time with this garbage. Some others are the directors and even that clown Seth Rogen. Somebody said Seth Rogen is poison for anything for now and all time. Yeah, yes and no. I mean, right, lately. Next comment says, she already had a fairly strong personality in the original games. There was no need to go all girl boss on Peach. I agree that she need to be strong to be efficiently ruler of the Mushroom Kingdom, but she already had that strong personality without being a girl boss. Anyone who didn't see this coming, hey, I have some swampland in Florida I'd like to sell you on the cheap. Girl boss in 2023 is just another tick requirement for pedo wood. Apparently, these people think princesses have some kind of authority. They don't. Looks like this might be the cause of another 25 plus year hiatus between live action Nintendo movies. Now, look, I get it. Again, Hollywood has kind of fucked over people in the last 5, 10 plus years, if you will. But just because something has the look of something doesn't necessarily mean it is something, right? This is how people end up being racist and ignorant and sexist, because they're too autistic to look behind the skin level surfaces of something, right? And I think here is an example of that, because if one is, familiar, like this one person, they're messing up the original lore. No, be familiar with the lore. Now I understand, pointing out the obvious here. Most of us are going to think of Princess Peach getting captured by Bowser, held by Donkey Kong. We think some real classic shit. And sure, some of these games she's might have grown, might still be getting captured, whatever. But this idea that she was never tough, right? Like, even if she's getting progressively more tough and girl boss type as the years go by, it's nothing new. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize in their somewhat dim-witted view of the world. Because, again, as much as I hate that shit, like, it's not uncommon in the entertainment world. We always like to bring up, Ridley and Aliens and Sarah Connor and Terminator and all kinds of shit, but sometimes we forget other things that, kind of have that vibe, or, strong female characters, if you will, and then we kind of label things as woke. It's no different than looking at a commercial, seeing a bunch of minorities, or even a TV show or movie, but you see a bunch of minorities in it, and then you're like, oh, it's automatically woke. It's like, well, no, you're automatically a racist because you can't see other colored people without thinking it's a bad thing. And this is, I think, what's happening with a lot of people, unfortunately. Now, I'd be remiss to not point out that some people get what I'm saying in the comment section. As this person here said, unfortunately, due to woke, even a girl boss seems woke now, when in reality, there's nothing wrong with it. If done normally, proud as cool, I suspect, will be fine. And if not, we will vent like there is no tomorrow. Somebody else also said, Peach was already portrayed as an equal combatant in the world's decades ago. What will subvert expectations is if this movie builds up Peach while not tearing Mario down, Luigi, nor any other male character. And I think this person, Immortal Fish here, really hit the nail on the head. The problem isn't the girl boss. The problem is the fact that they're, a lot of these stories, like Star Wars again, shits on the dudes to uplift the women, like it's impossible for people to both be awesome at the same time. And I think when it comes to Mario, people are going to have a little bit of a hard time being able to decipher that. So you peep the trailers, you see Luigi acting all scaredy, which we're all used to and we know and love. And then you see Mario actually struggling and coming up and training too. But I'm kind of here to say that that's nothing new. So the reality is, if you were alive back in the day or, just familiar with some old medium entertainment, Super Mario Bros. Have had a comic book back in, I think this was in 1993, called Super Mario Adventures. And in a way, reading it, I wouldn't be surprised if their screenplay for this new movie is solely based off of this, at least just looking at the trailer, because it kind of, involves the true bros getting thrown into this magical world, kind of new to everything, but they gotta kind of, help save the Mushroom Kingdom. And when you look at the comic book, and here's a screenshot for you, you're gonna see Mario and Luigi acting a fool, getting embarrassed, looking dumb, getting captured, all that shit. They're new to the world. And mind you, this is for kids, this is all fun, and while there is insidious natures behind Hollywood and all that stuff, this is also technically a Japanese product, right? This comic book was made by two Japanese dudes, Kentaro Takamura and Charlie Nozawa, right? And this kind of stuff, whether it's Luigi dressed up as Peach or, what I'll show you here in a sec, Peach actually being tough and strong, it ain't nothing new to the Japanese style. If you've ever seen fucking anime, like, these things aren't new to us. It's just that simple. Now, going on to Peach, if you look at the screen here, you'll see she is with the shits. She's not fucking with these Koopa Troopas. She's not fucking around when it comes to Bowser. She's pulling out bombs. She's literally out here calling out fights. She literally says to Bowser, put up your dukes. She's with it, right? That's kind of who the character is. This is in 1993, arguably a time when, woke really was put to rest. People would roast that shit like we weren't, it wasn't just like that back in that day, right? And I get it. Again, I don't know how many times I can say it. I understand the fear and concern, but it just wasn't like that. So now when we see it, people are literally convinced wholeheartedly that, yo, it's automatically woke because it's a strong woman. And I get it, I understand traditional roles and all that jazz and whoop de whoop, but this is entertainment. And like that one person said, if they can do this without tearing down characters, right, in a way that's not disrespectful, because it's one thing to show characters come up and still be useful and needed in whoever they are. You don't have to be fucking He-Man to save the day, right? That's not even who Mario is. We all love Mario for who Mario is, which is, technically a fat plumber that can hit these 360 flips. But we don't need Peach saying, Mario, you fucking cuckboy, you're useless, men are all useless, it's a woman's job. And hey, let's be real. There's a high chance that shit can still fucking happen, and we don't want that to happen. But this idea, simply put, that Peach was never strong, that she was never a girl boss, that she was, always the damsel. And sure, maybe the first incantation, but Peach hasn't been like this for a long, long, long time. I mean, when Peach was like that, you know, listen, it's been so long since you've kind of, known the thank you, but she's at the next castle type Peach, right? She's been doing a lot of stuff for a long time now, and now we just kind of have to remember, right? We just kind of have to remember that, yes, all this woke shit, all this bullshit propaganda that you watch in your movies and TV shows, yeah, it fucking sucks and it ruins art for sure. But we can't let ourselves all get so jaded that we don't even remember what characters were strong and independent and quote unquote a girl boss before all this woke indoctrination. I'm not saying that it's not possible that they don't fuck up the shit and make Mario, Luigi some little cuck boys and Peach this insufferable bitch, as we all know that TV and Hollywood loves to do nowadays, right? But it's technically not out of character, all right? I love Mario, may not be the hugest Mario fan, but this comic book was awesome. I recommend it to anybody. I definitely enjoyed it, and I just remember reading it as a kid, and it was just so fun and funny. Peach was awesome. She was really out there ready to fight these Koopa Troopers. They had to hypnotize her, Like, that's my point is, Just because she's strong and maybe an independent and a leader, it doesn't mean it's woke shit. And listen, if you've been with this channel long enough, you know we hate that shit. The race swaps, gender swaps, the diversity hires, all that shit. It's not cool. We want original stories and we want original characters, but let's be real. This is originally Peach. This is who she is. And while the fear can be justified, we shouldn't let it blind us. We shouldn't let it jade us into thinking that anytime a chick exhibits certain traits on the screen that it's automatically going to be woke garbage. So this is a little bit longer. Hopefully you stayed this long to get to the point of it all. But you know what it is. Jabberjaw's in the booth. Vulgar Desperado. Please hit that like and subscribe. Would really, really, really appreciate it on our road to 1,000. And we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.